Is there anything that you know God told you to do that you haven't done yet? You haven't obeyed yet, and maybe you're making excuses and you're waiting for another sign from God when in reality you already know what He told you to do? This week at our small group Bible study, we were reading about Moses and how God spoke to him at the burning bush and told him to go to Egypt and tell Pharaoh to let God's people go. And Moses tried to make excuses and tried to get out of it. And I know that I have done that. So I'm going to read Exodus 4, just the first part of it, where Moses makes his excuses. Exodus 4, 1 through 17. Moses answered, "What if they do not believe me or listen to me and say, 'The Lord did not appear to you'?" Then the Lord said to him, "What is that in your hand?" "A staff," he replied. The Lord said, "Throw it on the ground." Moses threw it on the ground and it became a snake, and he ran from it. Then the Lord said to him, "Reach out your hand and take it by the tail." So Moses reached out and took hold of the snake, and it turned back into a staff in his hand. "This," said the Lord, "is so that they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has appeared to you." Then the Lord said, "Put your hand inside your cloak." So Moses put his hand into his cloak, and when he took it out, it was leprous, like snow. "Now put it back into your cloak," he said. So Moses put his hand back into his cloak, and when he took it out, it was restored, like the rest of his flesh. Then the Lord said, "If they do not believe you or pay attention to the first miraculous sign, they may believe the second. But if they do not believe these two signs or listen to you, take some water from the Nile and pour it on the dry ground. The water you take from the river will become blood on the ground." Moses said to the Lord, "O Lord, I have never been eloquent, neither in the past nor since you have spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and tongue." The Lord said to him, "Who gave man his mouth? Who makes him deaf or mute? Who gives him sight or makes him blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now go. I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." But Moses said, "O Lord, please send someone else to do it." Then the Lord's anger burned against Moses, and he said, "What about your brother Aaron the Levite? I know he can speak well. He is already on his way to meet you, and his heart will be glad when he sees you. You shall speak to him and put words in his mouth. I will help both of you speak and will teach you what to do. He will speak to the people for you, and it will be as if he were your mouth and as if you were God to him. But take this staff in your hand so you can perform miraculous signs with it." When we talked about that this week, I felt convicted and challenged about something God has told me to do that I haven't done yet in my life, and a dream that He kind of planted in my heart. And I decided that it's time to obey and stop making excuses and stop asking God for another sign when I already know what He told me to do. So I'm just wondering if there's anyone else who has had God tell you what to do, or there's something like a dream that He has placed in your heart that you haven't followed through on yet. And I just would like to let you know that this passage or this video or the Holy Spirit within you may be telling you that now is the time to take the steps of obedience, to follow God's leading in your life. Because really, when we obey, there is a risk because we don't know what's going to happen, and it may fall flat and we don't know, but there's an adventure and there's joy in the obedience. And as my best friend was saying today when I was telling her about it, she said, even if you fail, it's better to fall forward in obedience rather than sitting still and trying to stay safe. So I pray that if God's pressing on your heart to obey what He told you to do, that you would obey, because now is the time.